do this video this evening on the Synergy 12 grouping of crystals. I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I wanted to do a video also on advanced chakras or transpersonal chakras. Some people call them etheric chakras. They're the ones that go beyond the 7 basic chakras. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to saying chakras, as I was recently taught to do. But this is a little out of order because I actually have, rarely enough, 4 of the Synergy 12 stones, and it's they're usually hard ones to get and not ones that I have often, and I wonder if I'm ever going to have all 12 at the same time. As usually happens, I get these really cool stones or crystals, and when I make a video of them, by the time I make the video, they're already sold to somebody, because I do a lot of special orders. People ask me to get things, and they never show up on Etsy because they're special for these particular people, and they're usually sold before I ever get to post them on Etsy. And should any of you out there want anything particularly special or difficult to get or not often found, I can usually get most things. So send me a message if you ever want anything like that. But anyway, okay, back to the Synergy 12. This is a concept that was brought upon by an author of, an owner of a crystal shop called Heaven and Earth is the name of the crystal shop they sell online. And the author of the Book of Stones, co-authored by Naisha Asian, who I look to as a crystal guru. Robert Simmons, also a bit of that, but I'm a little bit tainted, I guess you could say, by his willingness to trademark so many crystals and stones. I feel like they should not be trademarked. These are things that come from the earth, and how do you trademark that? I feel like trademarking is for something you've developed or created, and we know that universal source created crystals and stones, so just because you found them in the earth doesn't make them yours. But anyway, that's what I feel. So the Synergy 12, I have 4 of them, are Moldavite, and you're probably familiar with that as a green meteoritic stone, Phenakite, Tanzanite, which itty bitties right here, they're like diamonds, guys, so having big chunks of them you know, is very expensive to do and to have. I'll talk more about them in a second. A Zest Alight, or a Zestulite, and this is a specific kind called Sandarosa Zestulite, and I'll talk a little bit more about why it's sitting here with this card in a moment. Petalite, Tektite, which I have right here, which is a type of meteoritic glass along the same lines as Moldavite. Brookite, Naturalite, Scolasite, Satyaloka quartz, also known as Satyaloka Zestulite quartz, and I think I named all 12. I think I did. Okay, now that grouping of 12, according to Robert Simmons and Naisha Asian, in again that Book of Stones, are the most powerful for a harmonic activation of your energy or auric field, or also known as your electromagnetic field, of which we all have, emanating from our heart and brains, more strongly from our hearts. But I get off topic. So it really enhances a coherence between your heart and brain, and I'm going to do another video on that as well. Okay, so that's what those stones are for, and each one of these Synergy 12 stones has specific healing properties. And just to talk about the ones that I have here, these are the ones I'm going to talk about. Let me talk about the controversial Azestolite first. It's for enhancing and healing all your chakras, or balancing all your chakras, meant to say. Also very good for your transpersonal chakras, the ones above 7, 8, and above. And also your Earth Star chakra, that's also a transpersonal one. There are others, but again, that's another topic. It also enhances joy and serenity, and it's one of the trademark stones. And I don't know if you can see here on the card, see the little trademark sign there? Okay. Supposedly, this crystal is a type, well, not supposedly, it is a type of quartz, silicon dioxide, and supposedly they were brought here by a group of beings, extraterrestrial beings, called the Azez. And they were brought here for these specific purposes, healing properties that I just went over. And many people claim that it really brings them joy and serenity. And being that it's trademarked, I was a little bit hesitant to get into seeing what it was all about. But I said, you know what, the only way to really know if this stone does what they say it does is to get it for myself and meditate with it and see for myself what it does. I did feel energies from it meditating with it, but it proved to be a very difficult stone to crack, no pun intended, with my meditations. So usually I see visions and get messages and feel energy like tingling right away. This one, not so much right away. However, after I did get some stuff from it, started getting some messages and some tingling, I have to say that after I didn't realize it immediately, but after I went back and thought about it, on those days that I meditated with, I was particularly joyful and serene on those days. So I would have to do more meditations with it to really know for certain if it's working that way for me as a Synergy 12 stone. You know, doing it the few times that I did get those feelings are not enough for me to say 100%. And there's a whole debate going back and forth, pros and cons for it, and I will post a link that I often give to people when they ask me about a Zest Alight regarding that debate, so you can see for yourself and make your own decisions. And by the way, one of the tools that I use to help me crack the code with that and getting some messages from it, this is Flora Sage's or Charming Pixie Flora's Light Mist for raising vibrations and cleansing of energies. And I believe on her site she recommended that you use it for meditations. And since I've been really getting into that lately, I decided to go ahead and get it. And it really, when I use this, it really helped me to open up to a Zest Alight. So I'm just going to recommend that you go ahead and get some for yourself from wherever you want to get it from, and just make up your own mind. In fact, I often recommend to people that their first inclinations with crystals and stones, as far as what their healing properties should come from their intuition and what they get from the crystal or stone when they're meditating with it. And oh, this is the official card you should get if you're getting genuine Zest Alight from the source. Then you should get this little card, and this is what they consider to be the certificate that comes with genuine Zest Alight. If you're getting it from someone that's calling it a Zest Alight, like on eBay, and you're not getting this, then it's not coming from the genuine source. Okay? It may still work for people, but it's supposed to come from a very specific place. And there's several places now. The main one is in North Carolina. Okay. Now, Danburite. Isn't this a gorgeous piece? Okay, this is already going to someone, and I don't want to say who. If they want to say it, that's fine. But it's mostly white with little tinges of a little bit of lemon yellow in it. And Danburite, named after Danbury, Connecticut, where they first found it, it's mostly mined in Mexico now, brings about peace. It's a calming crystal, one for relieving you of stress, and it works with the heart and crown chakras, and of course the transpersonal chakras too. Being a Synergy 12 stone, usually that's the chakras that it works with, is the higher ones, raising the vibrational energies in those higher chakras. Okay, and that's not a trademark stone, by the way. None of these other ones that I have here are. The two on the Synergy 12 list that are trademarked are a Zest Alight and Satyaloka quartz. Okay, there is a lot of trademark stones and crystals that Robert Simmons has now, by the way. A lot, but they're not part of the Synergy 12 group. Okay, Tektite is a really interesting, and the only piece I have right now is this pendant. Tektites are all found in a belt, an Indonesian belt, and like I said, they're meteoritic glass. It's a glass that we're not 100% sure, as some sellers might tell you, that they are meteorites. Some scientists say that a large meteor or asteroid hit the moon and chunks of it flew off, melted in the atmosphere and flew off towards Earth and landed here, and it just so happened to land in that Indonesian belt. You find it in India, Tibet, I think parts of China, Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, of course. Okay, so that's one theory, and by the way, they think this happened about 700,000 years ago. The other theory is that an asteroid or meteor hit our planet and mixed with material in our crust and melted and landed again in another impact. And you see there's little bubbles in it, air bubbles from the melted glass. And other theories are that an asteroid flew through our atmosphere and just started breaking up and melting while flying to the Earth, and this was the result of it. So whatever the theory is that is correct, it is of an extraterrestrial origin somewhat. So it makes sense that the healing properties of tektites is to give you a connection to extraterrestrial beings. It helps you with telepathic communication, it raises your vibrational level, and works with all the chakras. And I believe it's mostly for the 7 main chakras. Probably a few of the transpersonal ones that are above 8 too as well. Okay, and Tanzanite. And I know we can't see it really good here. Maybe I'll put a nice picture of a nice gemmy Tanzanite. Tanzanite is only found in one place on the planet, as many crystals and stones are, but it's very limited, and it's found in Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. And it really helps with a mind-heart link, and I had a most powerful meditation with Tanzanite. And before I ever knew anything about this stone, again, I really recommend you work with a stone first and then go find out the healing properties in a book. But before I ever knew anything about it, I had a really powerful meditation. I thought the meditation was mainly for my third eye, and it is a heart, throat, third eye, crown, and soul star chakra, and soul star is one of the transpersonal chakras. So I'm meditating with it, and biased towards the third eye, thinking third eye, and I kept getting visions of a heart, a heart. And I told my mentor after the meditation about this, and she said, well, that's interesting because it brings about a mind-heart link, but I didn't want to tell anybody that before the meditation because I wanted to see what you got from your meditation. And I learned to do this wonderful Tanzanite meditation and to use a blue lotus flower absolute oil with it, and it just opened up my visions and this wonderful meditation that I had with Tanzanite. It brings about compassion and self-expression, spiritual perception, and it was just so amazing. So I think I'm going to be making a third eye chakra enhancement oil using Tanzanite. And Tanzanite is a pretty interesting little stone. There's some political events going on there where the mine is. There's one main mine, and they say it's going to be all mined out within the next 10 years, and there won't be any more Tanzanite left, period, and that it actually is more valuable and more rare than diamonds. So I don't know too much about that. I do know that it's very rare and there isn't a lot left there. I don't know exactly when the mine will close, and I don't know if they're just saying it to increase the value of Tanzanite, because as I said, that's something political and something that they can do and have done with diamonds. So okay, so that's it. All I wanted to say about the Synergy 12 stones, and since I had 4 of the 12, since I had a third of them, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do a little video. And if I get any others anytime soon, or if anybody wants me to look for any, just let me know. Okay, namaste.